Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to PMDC online lecture room. I am Miss Fazeelat, lecturer in English at PMDC Peshawar. As in previous videos regarding novel, we have discussed the major characters of the novel. In today's video, I will discuss the same major female character of Thomas Hardy novel, that is Fanny Robin. So Fanny Robin is one of the most strong character in the Far From Wedding Crowd, written by Thomas Hardy. Though she is not a heroine and she is a side heroine, but she played a very major role in the twist of the story, and she influenced fully the life of the heroine, that is Bathsheba. We also see the major contrast between the heroine Bathsheba and Fanny Robin's personality. Fanny Robin is actually exactly the opposite personality, that is of heroine Bathsheba. This character sketch is also important from examination point of view. Hardy presents Fanny Robin as a pretty, charming and innocent girl. She is slim with yellow hair. She also possesses an extremely attractive voice, and she was the youngest servant working under Bathsheba. She was actually employed by Mr. Boldwood to the uncle of Bathsheba, that was Mr. Aberdeen. But now, after his death, she was working under Bathsheba and she was the maid of Bathsheba. She actually falls a victim to vicious Sergeant Troy, and she was attracted by the false charm of Mr. Troy personality. She seems to have had a very little experience of men. She falls a victim to Sergeant Troy's fatal charm. She is Troy's first victim, the other being Bathsheba. She seems to have had very little experience of men. She is therefore easily taken in by outward appearance of Mr. Sergeant Troy. Being herself sincere and affectionate, she looks upon Troy as a constant and dependable lover. She realizes, to her surprise, when Troy deserts her, how unreliable he is. Her life is ruined, and she meets with an untimely and a tragic death at the end of the novel. Fanny Robin is a faithful and sincere woman. She was sincere, mad to Mr. Aberdeen and also to Bathsheba. She was also sincere with Mr. Sergeant Troy, though he was a vicious and he was a villain towards her. She surrenders herself unconditionally to her lover. On a cold night in December, she travels to Troy's barracks and reminds him of his promise to marry her. Similarly, it is for Troy's sake that she leaves Bathsheba's services. There is something extremely touching in the personality of this Fanny Robin. Her passion for Troy is extremely based on extreme sincerity, thinly and insufficiently clad and feeling weary and exhausted. She travels on foot to Casterbridge, braving the coldness of a winter night. Apart from Sergeant Troy, we see that Fanny Robin is also a victim of fate, and Hardy applied his fatalism theory on Fanny Robin. She was facing the challenges of fate. While Troy waits for her at All Saints Church to marry her, she goes by mistake to All Souls Church. So it is probable that if she had turned up in time at the right church, Troy would have married her. Again, if Troy had not met Bathsheba by a sheer accident, he might have still stuck to Fanny. Troy's real and genuine repentance over Fanny's coffin and his bold declaration that in the sight of heaven Fanny was his very wife lent authenticity to the view that Troy would have probably married Fanny if he had not come across Bathsheba. Fanny Robin is the most pathetic figure and pathetic character in the novel. Her sufferings excite pity, and she appears to be absolutely forlorn after Troy deserts her. She is so poor that she seeks a shelter in Union House, Casterbridge, and being very weak and exhausted and in advanced stage of pregnancy, she walks with great difficulty to her destination. She faints and collapses on the way, seeking the assistance of a dog on whom she leans during the rest of her journey. She reaches the Union House only to die there in childbirth. So there is no doubt that she is a woman of great courage and fortitude, but that her physical strength gives way to her terrible sufferings. She is innocent, she is childlike. Fanny Robin is simple minded and childlike. Lady, who knows her intimately, tells Bathsheba that Fanny was such a childlike young thing that her spirit couldn't appear to anybody if it tried. She is completely a contrast to Bathsheba. Fanny Robin presents a sharp contrast to Bathsheba. The former is innocent, childlike, and sentimental, while Bathsheba is an impulsive and passionate woman. Fanny stands by her one lover. Bathsheba transfers her affection from one lover to the other. So, though both suffer at the hands of Sergeant Troy, but Fanny's sufferings, however, is too deep for tears. Fanny has her revenge after her death. As she lies dead, Bathsheba envies her and feeling that death has released her from all her sufferings, and that Troy cared more for Fanny than he did for Bathsheba. So, Fanny is the second important female character in the novel after Bathsheba, though she is not as fully drawn as Bathsheba, but she is a striking character and she strikes us as a picture of innocence and childlike simplicity. So she continues to occur to our mind again and again long after we have read the novel. So this was all about the character sketch of Fanny Robin. Hope you got all the information about the Fanny Robin and you would be able to write about the character sketch of Bathsheba. Now students, you have to write a short note on the character sketch of Fanny Robin to assess your learning about this female character.